Good afternoon. You're sitting opposite of me in my gallery room or my office, and I have here on my desk I have two interesting sculptures featuring the phenomenon of archaism or archaistic. This means that especially in the 1st century BC, 1st century AD, around the reign of Augustus, there is a predilection in Rome for sculptures in a much older style from the archaic or late archaic period. And they reproduce, the Romans, up to their taste, these archaic seemingly sculptures to decorate their gardens and their houses. It's a phenomenon we recognize like later on in culture with the neoclassicism or the neo-Renaissance or historicism in the 19th century. It means in the 1st century AD, the Romans start to replicate a style which is about 500 years older. And it's not always easy to recognize. I will discuss one piece here, and this very typical piece will be confronted with an original by Lily Stoner and Ulrike Hase in the next film. So I will concentrate on this Apollo or Kouros, which shows features which, because also of its corrosion of the surface, are remarkably close to an original from the early 5th or late 6th century BC, but in fact when you look then more into detail at the piece, the regularity of the features and a certain coldness, albeit the quality is superb, you recognize this is an Augustan piece reflecting late 6th century. Apollon or Kouros with a complicated hair lashed over a band. It's possibly Apollon with the corbilloi here and here also. So the long hair of this young man is bound up and held together with a band here, and you see at the back it's also very long hair, shoulder long hair, which is bound together. And interestingly enough, and also very typical for that period, is the inlaid eyes. The eyes were separately done and inlaid probably in bone, ivory and black element, maybe obsidian or something like that. So it was very lively, and let's not forget it might even have been painted. So what you see here is an Apollo or Kouros around 100 to 100 BC to AD, and it has a beautiful provenance. It belonged to the Sandberg family, from whom I bought it over a sale in Scandinavia. The Sandbergs were great industrialists in Sweden, and it actually was bought by the great collector Sandberg, who was portrayed by Munch, and who knew Edward Munch very well, and that means that this piece was acquired at the end of the 19th century. In Sweden, there were keen collectors in Scandinavia at that time, also the royal families, and it's a nice story, comes directly from the family, and I imported it from Scandinavia to us in the gallery. It's an attractive piece with this phenomenon, and the longer you look at it, also the sensitivity which with these parts were done, it is remarkable, and they get close to the origin of the late 6th century. Thank you very much.